Hey, 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 it's Nancy, and it's time for I Love GH But. Oh my God! Guys, you know this week has been hot, hot, hot. And then it kind of dipped to the dry and wet. I don't know. I'm feeling like that's the best way for me to describe it. Let me work on my lighting here for a moment. Bear with me. I'm gonna pause just for a second. Be right back. All right, now you can see my face. Hi, how are you? Well, guys, we've got a lot to talk about. I did take my notes, and I am going to start from the top, and I'm just going to go on down. Now, I will say online there were some other recap folks who agreed with me that Sonny's homecoming was flat, splat, nothing like that we expected. We expected a big boom, bang, boom. Now, the first mistake that was made is when Sonny arrived to the house. Now, how is it, even though he is Sonny, okay, and it's his house, how is it that the most highly guarded house, especially on Jason and Carly's wedding day, that there were no guards to alert them that Sonny was on his way up to the house, that he was alive? Now, do they want us to think that off camera he told them, yes, me, I'm for real, and don't say anything, I want to surprise my wife and kids? So could that be the possibility? And if it is, then you need to let us know that on camera, because anybody who's been watching the show for the past whatever years, for me it is now 58, that this house is not a house you just walk up to without a phone call being made. Okay, even when Ava comes to visit, they still call. When Trina comes to visit, and Cam, or anybody for that matter that comes to visit, unless you're Jason, Michael, Willow now, and Christina, then they don't call. They don't have to call because you live there. You have keys. But this was, yeah, this was flat. This was so flat. And the fact that he was able to walk through the entire first floor, and he's looking at himself in the mirror, recognize the fact that he is 9 months older, and he's looking different from what he did when he left. He's happy to see his home. He's happy to see his family photos in place and everything basically looking the same. And then, of course, he rushes upstairs to enter his bedroom, and we will not talk about, again, the fact that they stayed at home to have their honeymoon night together, to find Jason pulling off his jacket and Carly getting ready to turn around so he can undo her dress. And it's completely brushed over. I mean, he just walks in. He's like, hi, it's me. I'm alive. It's really me. Sonny, brother Paul. I'm surprised Jason didn't faint as well, okay? Because the both of them should have been on the floor. But Jason, being the gracious man that he is, he puts her on the bed, and he gives them some privacy as the doorbell rings with Dante. Now, we know that Dante is coming over because he now wants to talk about the fact that Busceme, I can say his name now, that Busceme and Novak are dead, and that their car blew up outside of the church after the wedding. So he's there for that reason. And Jason is like, nah, man, we can talk about that later. I got something much more important to tell you. It's much more important to tell you. Listen to me. Listen to me. Take a moment. Shut up. Stop being a cop. I've got something important to tell you. Takes him in the living room to tell him, and who comes down the stairs with Sonny and Carly, and he's like, oh my God, it's my father. And he gets to say to him all the things that he said to Jason, that he wished he would have said to his father, and that no matter what side of the fence that they're on, that he will remember that he is his father first and a gangster second. We'll see how long that lasts. Okay, because we know that chaos is about to ensue. I don't know how the writers are going to write it. I hope they're going to do a decent job about it. But we know once uh, uh, whatever his name is, Johnny Novak or whatever his name is, finds out what's going on, he's going to be back and he's going to try to take over the Novak family because now his uncle is dead. So we know that's going to be an issue coming. But the main thing right now is that everybody's got to find out that Sonny is alive. Okay. So as I said, and as other people have said, Sonny's return was such a letdown. And I would have felt better about it if Jason and Carly did get to consummate the marriage and he walked in on them in bed. Because again, he was way too casual. Now, they did break it down to him the reasons why they made the choices that they made and knew that he would agree with them. And he did. He did. He said, yeah, smart move. I would have did the same thing. Okay. But he is not thinking about what he walked in on. And the fact that these two people really have a love for each other that supersedes him. And him talking about, well, you know, y'all got married and everything. I'm back now, so we can fix that. Just as casual as he please. Like, it's all right. You know, you'll just step aside like you did before. You know, she's my wife. Doesn't matter that you did this for me and my family. Thank you. But you my boy, but you know what I'm saying? And you could see from Carly and Jason the whole time that we're going through this reunion, they're looking at each other like, damn, we had a moment. And once again, that moment was taken away from us by Sonny. So there has to be some underlying feelings because you just don't stop loving somebody once you open yourself up to it. Okay? It's a very, very hard thing to do. Anybody who loves deeply will understand that. And these two people love each other deeply. Now, they may have spent most of their relationship loving each other as friends, but when they first met and they first got together, Jason and Carly, it was meant to turn into a romantic relationship that was interrupted by Sonny. And they all chose to accept their roles, especially Jason. But I don't think he deserves this. And I don't think that he deserves to be just dropped off and set to the side. That Sonny is allowed to treat him so casually. I've got a huge problem with that. As much as I love Sonny, as much as I love Maurice, you stayed away too long. Sorry. Your character could retire. And at this point, because things have already been put in place where Carly and Jason are in control, we don't need you. You know, the town was adjusting to not having you. As much as they realized how much you were a central part of the town and how you kept things running in the town, with Jason being your right-hand man and knowing the business just as much as you do, and Carly as well for that matter, you stayed away too long. The writers kept you away too long because how is this supposed to go back to normal, honestly, really? I mean, come on. You allowed yourself, Sonny, to fall in love with Nina as Mike. And now that you have your memories, both, you know that you had deep feelings for this woman. So now, at your grave, when you're cursing her out, you want to weep a little bit for what you missed. But I think you're also weeping for what you feel. And you can't get away from that feeling. You have feelings for Nina. Now the question is, Are you going to just fight those feelings and just focus on your family because that's what you want to do? Or are we going to have this turmoil going on within yourself? You know, because Nina's not going to give up with her delusional ass. Okay. We have a lot of delusional people that turn up on the soap operas, but Nina takes the cake. Okay. When we talk about delusional women and seeing what you want to see the way you want to see it, regardless of what's right in front of your face, she needs therapy. She needs serious mental help because she is one of the most delusional people I have ever encountered on the soap operas. I mean, and they don't like to use crazy, but she's crazy. She is crazy because she is determined that this man is hers now. You know what I'm saying? She basically feels that Mike was a better man than Sonny. And my big question to you folks is, who is she to say that? Who do you think you are to say who is the better man? Because as I've said before in my previous videos, Mike is Sonny. All you did was get a different side of Sonny because he could not remember the gangster side. So you got the Sonny that Carly fell in love with. You got the Sonny that everyone, Laura, all these people, all these women see. They see the Mike that you saw, but it was Sonny. We know it's Sonny. We know it's part of Sonny. And that he basically split. Okay? And that was based on the information that he had. And you also have to remember that when he was, I think he was in a coma or something after getting shot for a while, and he was having that altered universe dream of being Mike the cop, the retired cop, okay? And Dante being the gangster married to Sam, okay? And Jason wasn't around then. That's when Jason was gone. So Jason didn't even enter the picture because, again, those dreams was based on Jason not being there. So he had these dreams of an altered life, okay? What would he be if he wasn't a gangster? And that's fine. And we know if he wasn't a gangster, that he probably would have been a cop. You know what I'm saying? Because his deal, the core of Sonny, is to protect. Now, he does that as a mob kingpin, but it's still the same thing. It's just on the different side of the fence. The procedures are different. Let's put it that way. The way things are done is different because they go from the not so legal side to get things done, as opposed to the cops always following the letter to the law that serves them. Okay, because we know the PCPD only does what serves them, and they use Sonny and Jason when it's convenient. When they know that they can't do the job, they literally have said out loud, I hope Jason gets there first. I hope Sonny and Jason get there first. But the hypocrisy of that is if Jason and Sonny get there first and they do the deed, they're going to want to arrest them because they feel like it's a 2-for-1. You know what I'm saying? We get Sonny to do the dirty work and then we get to arrest him and put him in jail for the rest of his life. What kind of shit is that? Right? You'll take my money for a hospital. You'll take my money for a wing. You'll even ask me to save the same hospital that you never wanted me to enter or be a part of. But that's okay until, you know, he gets on your nerves. Okay? So I'm curious to see what's going to happen next week when the rest of the town, because Ava now knows he's alive. We know that the kids know that he's alive. Okay? Even freaking Esme knows he's alive, and she's got an attitude about it. Did you see how she went to Spencer? But I'm jumping ahead. I want to kind of go through things the way that I've written them down. Okay. And as we said, it wasn't the return that we expected. He just waltzed in the house. No guards bothered to alert Jason and Carly that he was coming. Fired. But then again, we don't know what happened off camera. And that's the writer's fault. That they didn't give us that little bit of information so that we know that the house is just not being walked in willy-nilly. Okay? But even more outrageous was the fact that he barged into the bedroom, which we talked about, to find Carly about to jump Jason Bones, as one of my colleagues has said, and never once questioned what was about to happen. Okay, he like I said, it just went right over his head. But that's okay. He never blinked an eye. He's okay with it. We just gonna tell Carly what happened and move on. All right. Now, I did appreciate the fact that Jason went to the gym, tried to blow off some steam, think things through. He's not angry. He's just settling for what is. And I don't like that. I don't appreciate that he is the one that is always making the sacrifices for other people. I think it's his turn to be happy. I did not and will not say that's Britt. I think him and Britt would be better off as friends as opposed to lovers at this time, because he needs to readjust again. He needs to put those feelings for Carly back into a box, or him and Carly need to go ahead and act on it. And I wouldn't be upset by that. I'm sorry. Again, Sonny made himself obsolete. The writers made him obsolete. I love you, Maurice Bernard. You know I do. But even I said, if you're going to retire, dude, go ahead. Do your peace of mind. Do your movies. Do your books. Because as much as I love Sonny Corinthos, you allowed the writers to make your character obsolete. We could do with or without you. We are very happy that the second soap, Nixon Falls, is coming to an end, because Phyllis still has not come to Port Charles, so it's not quite over yet. Okay, and Anna and Valentine have not returned to Port Charles yet, so they're still in Nixon Falls trying to find Peter. But we know next week they're going to make it back to town, and how much information they're going to give everybody else is what I'm really curious about. So Britt runs into Jason at the gym, and he's beating the bag, and he's, like I said, letting off, some energy so he can figure out what's going on. It's probably the energy that he was about to give to Carly. But that's okay, And Britt makes her little snarky remark, as she always does. And then he tells her, I'm not married. Our marriage was not legal because, dun, 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 Sonny is alive. What? So Carly just left you for Sonny. Well, that's her husband. What is she supposed to do? I'm with Britt. I don't know what she was supposed to do, but I think it's pretty lousy that it went as casually as it did. And, Britt admits, while I do have a twinge of I told you so, I'm not going to do that because I don't want to see you hurt, because I do care about you. And I'm glad she said that. It shows that Britt has growth. She's growing into a different type of person. And if they're redeeming her character to make her a better person so that she can one day be good enough for Jason, because I'm sorry, as far as I'm concerned, she's not good enough for Jason, then you need to do that. Okay, you need to prove that she's not going to be a liability to him and his business. And that's the biggest thing, because any woman that gets involved with him, one, has to deal with Carly and Sonny and his family, and two, has to understand what happens in the business and that you have no say so. Okay, as much as Sam tried to have some say so about his business, she had no say so. If anything, she wanted to wield a gun with him. Britt's not that person. She's not going to wield the gun. She's a doctor. Okay, even though she's more than willing to do some really shady shit, basically she tries to stick to her Hippocratic oath to do no harm. But we know that she has done some harm in the past, so I am not ready to pair her up with Jason. She's the last person I would have paired him up with. My thing is that I would like to see him single for a while. Okay? If he wants to date, you want to show him dating or getting to know Britt and getting close to her over time, being supportive of her as a good friend, fine. But throwing them in bed now, at this point, is not, no, that's not a good thing. That would not be a good thing, because he needs to deal with his feelings for Carly, and vice versa. Carly needs to be able to deal with her feelings for him. So these two people declared their love. Britt knows that they declared their love to each other. So she asks us the big question: what are you supposed to do with those feelings? Where are you supposed to put those feelings? And it's clear to me that she doesn't want to be a rebound. So I hope she sticks to that. Okay, because she doesn't deserve to be a rebound. And again, Jason does not need to be in a relationship after Sam dumping him the way that she did. And we know that when Drew comes back, she's probably going to go back to Drew. Okay? Because he's comfortable. He has no desire to be in the mob. You know what I'm saying? Even though his life has been in danger more than Jason's at this point. And Jason honestly knows how to protect himself in the way that he has grown to do. Drew would rather not, even though he is trained to kill as a Navy SEAL and a soldier. So what's going to happen when he comes back? Because I think they're setting up Sam to have a triangle between Dante and Drew. And you know what? Jason still doesn't know that she's making googly eyes at Dante. When she has called Dante a traitor to his family. So this whole building relationship between them, Dante and Sam, is so stupid to me. They have no chemistry whatsoever. You know, it's just two short people hanging out, being single parents, and you never see the kids. At least Dante has Rocco. We may not see Rocco on camera, but he's the one bringing Rocco to the pool. He's the one picking up Rocco at the house. He's the one at the house with his mom hanging out with Rocco before he goes home. You get none of that with Sam. You don't even get the kids running around anymore. Now, I know it's probably mostly because of COVID, and they don't want the kids on set as much as they would be, so it's really, really rare now that you're seeing the younger children. But, come on now. If we're showing a family unit, we need to see the whole family. We need to acknowledge that she spends time with her children. We need to see her gathering her children. Okay? Not her at the pool and no sign of the kids. None. No mention of them. Oh, they're at Lila's kids. Lila's kids is not at the Metro Court. So what's up with that? You got time to go to the pool. You got time to do investigations and leave town. But you ain't got time to show us how you are taking care of your children. Because right now they're spending all their time at the Quartermain Mansion. They probably don't even know what their own bedrooms look like anymore. So, excuse me, but Sam is not the best mother in the world to me. Sorry. Okay. At least with Liz, you see the kids. Now, Cameron being the oldest and able to be vaccinated, you see him more on the show. but she still speaks of what she does with the other children. And we've seen them on camera more than any other child on this soap opera, the boys. She may not always call them by their names, but the boys are always present in some form. You know she's the one taking care of her kids. Even when they're at the house, you still have the kids present. You never see the kids with Sam. Not even in the house. When Drew was there before COVID, okay. But even Danny, running in and out of a scene, or they don't even give you an inch of that. So that's poor on the writer's part, and it's poor on the character. She's not a good mother as far as I'm concerned. But mind you, she got the mother of all mothers, Alexis. So, and that holier than thou, we won't talk about right now. Okay? Because she's in prison. Have mercy on us, Lord. Have mercy. So, the talk at least pushed Jason to see Carly, but even that conversation was frustrating. Okay, they both pondered what could have been and admitted that meant the vows that they took, and they meant it. Okay, but again, I'm just gonna go through what I wrote, go through what I've read, and it made good sense, and it gave me touching points. Not once did they even bring up that Carly said it was always Jason for her, and the fact that they were about to have sex when Sonny interrupted them. I said that. That has not been touched on. She did say to Jason, how are we going to explain to Sonny how we feel? And I think he deserves to know, but then again, he doesn't. Because how much is Sonny going to explain about what happened with him and Nina? We still haven't gotten that explanation. Okay. Is he going to tell her about Nina, or is somebody else going to tell her about Nina? Because all this half-truth going around, this sugarcoating her actions, is getting on my last nerve. Okay? Because that heifer, she needs to suffer like she claimed she wanted Carly to suffer. And that's what Sonny says to her. He's like, your motive was to get back at my wife. You didn't care about my kids. You didn't care at all about my family, my business, and what that means. Okay, because as you tell it, you were happy. I didn't want to take that away from you. I wanted to give that to you. I, Nina, am now God, and I want to give you the life I think that you deserve as Mike, and leave Sonny in the past. But Sonny had a wife and kids that love him dearly. She didn't care about that. Because all she wanted, while she says that's not what it was for her, it was. It was all about getting at Carly. All about it. Nothing else. Everything else was wrapped in her personal delusion. The world she created to control this man's life. To take this man's life. And as he said, you took my life away from me. You held me from my life for 9 months. 9 months. My daughter, my youngest child, doesn't even know who I am. And the moment she gets in the same room with Sonny and Jason, and she runs to Jason first, Daddy, he's going to lose his mind. Now, Avery recognized him because she knows her dad. But like he said to Nina, Donna doesn't know who I am. And that is enough to cut your throat. That alone Because when I left, my baby was 3 4 months years old. 3 months old. 3 to 4 months old. I come out, she's almost a year. That was not a 9 month old baby, but we gonna move past that. Where she is looking like a toddler. She's not 9 months. 9 months, you are not walking and talking. Well, you might be talking, but you ain't walking completely. But you're not talking sentences. You're not saying daddy. You're saying dada. Maybe mama. You're still cooing at 9 months. So, yeah. Faulty. You aged the child too far ahead because she should have still been, excuse me, cradling her in the arms. Air went the wrong way. Okay. So he's at his gravesite looking at his tombstone and he's in disbelief. And this heifer shows up saying she's on her way to Jave's grave because she now got to explain to her dead brother why she allowed Peter to get away with so much. And that Peter is threatening his son. So, but in the meantime, she's trying to be all hunched over. I still love you. I love you. What? He's like, don't say that. Because Mike is dead. I am not Mike. Mike was not real. Mike was your delusion, figment of your imagination. I didn't know who I was. And you didn't help facilitate that. What did I say? What did I say? Okay? That every time this man was getting a memory, every single time, she deflected that memory from coming to the surface. I don't know why my nose got an itch when I'm on the line. Y'all think I'll be doing drugs? No, I don't. But I'm like, are you kidding me? Are you seriously kidding me? You have the audacity. And then you're going to turn around and tell him he was a better man as the other person. You didn't know Sonny, so, we don't care. You only know the perception of Sonny. You only know what other people tell you about Sonny. You only know Jack's stupid perception of Sonny. And even he's a joke because he's still coddling her. Now, she left him behind in Nixon Falls, which was really interesting. But Jax has got some splaining to do as well. Wait till Carly get her hands on his ass. And I hope they don't write over that as well. And over the fact that Jocelyn's the one that gave him the clue. And Jocelyn picks up on that. I really, really hope he does not get away with all the crap that he's been doing in the name of Nina. Because he didn't care about Carly. He didn't care about Sonny. Because if it was up to him, Sonny would have died in that fire. Because he made absolutely no effort to help him. Give me Nina. Beam falls on him. He saw the beam fall on him. And looked and was like, oh well. I hope he burns up. Because he refused to let anybody go in that building as far as I was concerned. And the fire department, written poorly, did not behave as a fire department does. All of that looking around and trying to find a way when you were given away and all you had to do was take your hoses to go in there. Because the oxygen was already out. The door was already open. So it's not like if you opened the door at this point or crashed the window, there was going to be a backdraft. No. Because we've already been in and out of this building. So there's no backdraft to fuck with. Jax had no intention of Sonny surviving that fire. And if that's not spoken on or picked up on, I'm definitely going to say something about that. Okay? Definitely. And, people are slowly learning about Nina's part in keeping Sonny from his family. All right? We know that the epic showdown is going to be coming, and it better be epic. It better be just as epic as Carly and Ava fighting in the bathroom. Carly took those earrings off. Let's go. That's what I need to see. I need her to snatch Nina's ass. Snatch her. Snatch her like a stranger in the street. Like she beat your child and you gonna beat her back. Snatch her. Because she's too... Am I gonna say it again? Guess what I'm gonna say? It's all too casual. Too casual. Maurice said on his Instagram that we were going to have some must-see TV. Where is it? Because right now, failing. I give it 100 one day to give it a 65 the next. 65. I think 65 is fair. It could be lower. And it picked up their ratings. But you know what's going to happen? They're going to drop again because just like clickbait, you tell us one thing and you do something else. You did not give us the climax that we deserved, writers. You dropped the ball again. Okay? I did love Ava seeing Sonny. I did like those scenes. I was sad that she still is choosing to leave, but we know she's going on vacation and that's fine. Because now that Sonny's back, you would think she would say, okay, I don't have to leave because I know Sonny's going to protect Avery. But I understand her reasoning. Okay? Because as we know, Esme and Spencer now know that Sonny's alive, and Esme's the one that's pissed about it. Spencer is like, my uncle, my beloved uncle is alive. I have the most important man in my life back. Because it wasn't his father. The most important man in his life was Sonny. Because Sonny was more present than Nicholas. Even Kevin. So, but Esme is upset. So what does that mean? Does that mean that this girl, against Spencer's wishes, is going to do something or try to do something to Avery? Or try to step to Sonny some way or to Jocelyn some way? Or because that's going to backfire. And if it doesn't, writers, know that we will be in your ass. Okay? Because all you did was replace Nell. One crazy chick to another. That's all you did. And that's why everybody was like, oh, is Nell coming back from the grave? Or Kiki's coming back angry? No. Y'all gave us a brand new crazy bitch. Why? Is she really necessary? Or are you looking for something to give the kids something to do? I think Trina's been through enough. I think all the kids been through enough so far. But y'all just can't find nothing creative to do. Okay? You just can't. You lock us into these stories and you don't know how to get us out of. And then what you do to get us out of is so underwhelming that you might as well have left us on the roller coaster. Okay? Okay? So, I'm not feeling it. Not at all. Esme is going to be a problem. And if she goes anywhere near Avery, I am just going to lose my shit. Okay. I'm going to lose my shit. You know, Nina goes to Maxi. That was another underwhelming explanation. She half told the truth on that. Made herself look like the victim. Didn't tell how she seriously plotted this. And for Maxi, because she loves her, you're my sister no matter what, to let her slide this way? No, she would not be trusted. She kept your secret, yes, but she would not be trusted. And did y'all see how they brought Christina back for 5 minutes? Now, you know, after she has done her boohoo to her, oh, my daddy's back. Oh, we ain't gonna see her again. So we had her for a day, maybe. That's gonna be it for Christina, because you know she only shows up when her father's either going to prison, gets shot, or presumed dead. It's either a funeral. She doesn't make all the weddings. She does make the funerals, though. How is it that Molly has all the camera time and Christina gets none? None. Talk about middle child syndrome. Sam's on camera all the time. Molly's on camera all the time. Stable relationship since she was 13 with the same guy. But Christina can't even get 5 minutes. I don't get it. I don't get it. And Lexi is a good actress. I mean, there's more that she could be doing. Okay. I like to see her get some gangster in and stop talking about, you know, her loyalty to Sam and I love my father, but yeah, I'm not same old, weak minded girl because she doesn't stand to me as a woman. So sorry, you know. So we'll see what happens. We're gonna see what happens. Okay. Then I got something here. The 9 lives of Peter. After finally catching up with Peter in Nixon Falls, super spy Anna shot him in the shoulder. You shot me! Yes, I did. He didn't believe that she would shoot him. And neither did I. But like I said before, she needed to come center max. I'm tired of the monologue. Okay? I get that she couldn't shoot to kill because she needed answers about Drew. But see, see, somebody said the same thing I did, and I'm going to read what they wrote. But couldn't have she incapacitated him a bit more by taking out his leg? Didn't I say that? Why would you shoot him in the shoulder? He could still get away. He could still pick up the gun. If she would have shot him in the leg, he would not have been able to get up and get away so quickly. But that would have been too easy for the writers to do. Okay, because she's a super spy. And just like when Jason enters a room and draws his gun, he shoots first, ask questions later. As a super spy, that should be you. Okay? Valentine was like, shoot him on sight. And when he pulled up and was like, you shot him? He was even shocked. Okay? But you didn't incapacitate him. So, again, writers, directors, you don't have a seasoned super spy shoot somebody in the shoulder that you've been hunting for weeks, months, hunting, needs to die, and you shoot him in the shoulder. So when he jumps off the cliff or whatever banks, river banks, or whatever the frick you want to call wherever they were, The bluff, it must not have been that high for him to just leap over like he did. Okay. And they already want to presume him dead. They don't want to look for him. Come on, how you got a fugitive who already escaped death and you don't search for him further? You don't keep searching. That's why they didn't find Sonny. So who's to blame? I like to keep the focus where it belongs. Writers, you suck. Now, usually when I type it, it's in all caps. I'm saying it out loud. You suck. Okay? Because there's no consistency. You're not keeping to the character and who they are. You're not keeping to that. Because every time you get close to doing it, you drop the ball. You make them waver. And these are people that not supposed to waver. Okay? Jason chooses not to shoot to kill because he wants his answers, but he's going to shoot you to incapacitate you. When he shot Faison, he shot him close enough that he wouldn't survive, but he would stay alive long enough to get answers. He put him down. That's what Anna was supposed to do. She was supposed to put that fool down. But okay, we're going to see what happens. You know, we know that Drew is fighting his way out, and now him and Obrecht are in the same place, so they're going to end up in the same place. Because Victor, in his obsession, he's worse than Faison. And you know what's really funny? He's mad at her for loving Faison the way that she did because she didn't love him the same way. Liesl, what is up with these men? I know you all that and everything, but damn. I mean, talk about obsession 2.0. Victor. And why can't Cassadines just die? I told you they're like roaches. Atomic roaches. The Cassadines. Because Victor is basically taking over for Helena. And he's the one running the WSB. And that's why the WSB is not doing much of nothing. Because this fool is still in control somehow. So Peter's now working for him. So basically we can say that the DVX has taken over the WSB. Okay. So we'll wait to see how that plays out. Okay. Chloe has made it back to the States, so they know that she's alive, the real Chloe. So they have that information. So those bits and pieces are coming. So Anna and Valentine are starting to put the puzzles together, but now they're going to have to get themselves to Crete. So they can save Liesl, kill Peter, find out that Victor's alive, and save Drew as well. We'll see how long that takes. Okay, because we know we can't even depend on the writers to get that right. Because the fact that they even brought Victor back is just too much. Okay, let's move over to the kids. Stalking the stalkers. Okay, because my girl Trina, she's like, you are taking away my fairy godmother. She loves Ava. And I their relationship seems pure. She helped Ava during a very difficult time, gave Ava something to focus on, another child to focus on besides Avery. And kind of help her repent for what she did and what she put Kiki through. So that's why I don't have a problem with Trina and Ava's relationship. And please, folks, please don't misunderstand. I am not Team Ava in any way, shape, or form. But I will give credit where credit is due. I will recognize what's good when it's good. But Please believe me, Ava is not one of my favorite people, but I do seriously believe she does not deserve what is happening to her right now. Spencer took it too far, as Cassadines do. You have this other crazy person involved now, where you are afraid of her, because he is. Because, like Jocelyn said, he's way over his head with Esme. And Trina and Cameron see that. So they're now thinking about how we're going to save Spencer from Esme, because they see that she's more the problem than Spencer is. Okay? So let's see what happens with that. All right? So the stage is being set. Trina and Cameron and Jocelyn are going to set Esme and Spencer up. Okay? That should be interesting. And we've never had the teenagers involved in this way where they seriously play a part. Besides the things that were happening with Oscar, and Ryan kind of fell into that. It wasn't like a plot thickens. This is a plot thickens. So I'm really interested to see, because Trina's got her detective hat on. Whether she's Taggart's child or Curtis's child, they're both inquisitive men, and she's an inquisitive child. So she's like, you are not going to force my Ava out of town without a fight. And the fact that Ava, the mobster, has softened so that she is so afraid for Avery that she would leave. And we understand it because of what happened to Kiki, because of Ryan taking Kiki away from her in the name of love. So we understand her fear. And I'm grateful it's being written that way. Okay? That she's not willing to just stay and fight. That she's like, look, I'll do anything to protect my child. As much as everybody thinks I'm a piece of shit, I do love Avery, and I don't want anything to happen to Avery. So the fact now that Trina is like, we got to figure out what the hell is going on. And while I don't want Spencer to get in trouble, it may be unavoidable because of the depths of their actions. Burning Ava's car was the last straw. It was bad enough putting Ryan's voice in a teddy bear, and Spencer knew about that, so he's going to have to pay for that. Sonny is not going to be happy about that. Ava is, no one is going to be happy with Spencer for that main action, because he knew about that. He didn't know about the car, but he did know fair well about that teddy bear, and he's the one that put the blood in the gallery that got Trina instead of Ava with the Carrie moment. So he's going to have to pay for that. And if they gloss over that BS, you're going to hear about it, of course. Even Kevin. Now, Ryan has already recognized this girl is crazy, and we don't know what the connection is, and I really don't care. And I really, really, really hope that you are not looking to write this child as a biological of Ryan's. I really hope so. I just hope she's another crazy little bitch that we need to get rid of because she's an interloper. Okay? We don't need another adopted crazy person who needs to find out who her parents is so she can wreak havoc on them. Come on, how old is that? Can we cut out the recycle shit, please? Can we please? Can we please? But if you're going to play this out, play it out. But Kev is like, Nicholas, I know you want to overcompensate for what you did to Spencer, but this little girl is going to be a problem. And of course, Nicholas, being the self-righteous boob that he is, oh, I'm just glad that my son is back. I'm just glad that he has someone who he loves. Forget about the girl is crazy. Forget about the fact that this entitled little girl, but you know what? Entitled is as entitled does. That's why Nicholas can't see past her. because all he wants to do is please Spencer, one, but two, because he grew up self entitled and felt that the world owed him and that he can do whatever he wants because he's a Cassadine. He don't see it because he's still behaving that way. Okay? He's still living that white privilege. So why would he recognize it in somebody else? He just sees his son as being spirited. And that's why Spencer has all the problems that he does. That's why Spencer, if something drastic doesn't happen to turn him around, and we thought losing his father would be, but no, Laura took the easy way out and sent him out of the country instead of raising him. So he's around all these entitled rich kids in Paris to continue being spoiled and basically getting whatever he wants whenever he wants it. Yeah, she gave up her life for a year and when he broke both of his legs, but why couldn't you bring him back to Port Charles? So what? Valentine and him were having this contention thing. So you could have moved him with Sonny, surrounded by guards. But you chose to send him away because that was convenient. At least that's what the soap opera wrote, that it was more convenient for her. So, excuse me, but Mayor Collins, you did nothing to change this boy in the last 3 years. Nothing. But enabled him. That's it. So we have literally 4 minutes from an hour. Should we go ahead and make it a whole hour? I don't know. But what I do want you to do for me is to comment, share, subscribe. Tell me what you think is going to happen next week, what you want to see next week on the show, and we'll talk about it. Okay? I'm hoping to get more people to subscribe so I can go live. Right now we're pre-recording and I'm there with you when we premiere. But I would really, really love to be able to go live. But I can't go live if I don't know anybody's going to be there. One person, one-on-one is cool, but it would be nice to have some people on there to say hello to. So I'm going to ask you to check me out, and I'll see you next time on I Love GH But. Have a great weekend.